Ta-da! I'm here again. Set fire. Merry Christmas. Today's Christmas morning. I was trying to come up with a neat lesson for you today, and I got caught on. I got caught on, what it means to be evil. Something to tell you why Jesus is born today to confront evil. So I bring in his adversary. But what I did was I discovered a really cool passage in the process of doing all this. Look, I got a whole mess of it. I was just going to read scripture and show you some really interesting things. I'm just only going to pull out a couple of the cool parts now, because it goes on really long. It's 10 o'clock in my time, and I got to get to work, you know. But, I want to do this first. Okay, I found one of the coolest things. It's Mark 7, so it's about the Lord's Day. All right, numbers 21 through 22 verses. That makes it a 3 and a 4, and that's what we get. Is we get this 3 and this 4 is actually the worlds. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, it's not a world, but it works out the number system, and it's really cool. See if anyone is catching on like I did this. What is Mark? The scripture goes on. It says Mark 7, verses 21 through 22. For it is from within, out of a person's heart, that evil thoughts come. All right, and then it has a little slant. Goes on and says sexual immorality, theft, and murder. That's 1, 2, and 3. So 1 is sexual immorality. This is the idea that this is the biblical homo. When someone is neglecting the female side of them, they're being an adulteress by taking on the neighbor's wife. All right. So that's the first thing. That sexual immorality is that you are not knowing your mother and father. You've taken this lower business. That's what that's talking about here. Number 1 was sexual immorality. Second, that means that your mind isn't working. Theft. 2 is theft. You've been taken from. Something stole your crown. All right. That's a theft. All right. And the 3 down there is murder. Is that giving your child away? This child, plus you're dead, and you killed this side of you. This is the spiritual death. So this is where you get your murder from. All right. And this all stems from the heart. Remember, this is this is what they tell us in the Old Testament, is the hardened heart. This is why everything has happened like that, and he's going to harden the heart of Pharaoh so that some mean things can happen. And remember, you're Pharaoh, you're all of these guys, and you're Moses trying to get free. All right. So anyways, let's get past those, but that's 1, 2, and 3. So 1 is God, all right, would mean God, and this is sitting in the spot of sexual immorality, which means that you don't have God. That's just simple as that, because you've chosen to be that biblical homo who is making out with womankind, you're making out with mankind instead of womankind. Remember, that's the Leviticus one, right? Where they call it the queer text because it's man on man, but it's not. Mankind is not a male. It's not a singled out male, and it starts off with a thou, so it doesn't say who, male or female. It says just thou, anyone that's going to work. If you're going to throw your silver out into the streets, this is that idea of going to mankind, laying with mankind like you would with womankind. Womankind is not a woman. Womankind is spirituality. She's the mother of us all. So if you go and lay with mankind like you would be doing it with the lady, then you're the biblical fucking homo. All right. And that puts a whole lot of people in there. All right. Including queers. I'm a queer, but I'm not I'm not the biblical homo. All right. So I have one less strike against me. Let's go on to the next of this because it's about numbers. All right. And 22, which means four, that's basically worlds. That means your world. All right. And that would actually consider that chakra system and our number system on the negative side. We already know what the positive side is. The positive sides are all these beautiful things, all right? But look at what happens. In the head is adultery because, you're going out on your wife, all right? Like the chakra system, the throat, greed. Greed. 3 is your heart, malice. 4 is your stomach, deceit. 5 is your sacrum, lewdness. 6 is the root, is envy. And then we get 7, which would be the Lord's Day that we're supposed to keep holy, slander. 8, which would usually, this is when, you're in control. 8 is that system of being, I'm in control now, or getting that bridle and giving control over to the higher mind. What we have here is we have arrogance. This is when they talk about the arrogance of things. So it's, you'll know this is the code. And number 9, which is supposed to represent the consciousness of your body, is folly. You're just in folly. All right. That is some text. All right. And that comes from Mark. That's very telling, most telling of all of these. But, let's see. I'm only 6 or 7 minutes in, so I'm going to give you a little bit more. It says, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. This is Romans 12:21. So what do you get with 12? You get 3, and you get another 3 on the other one. So yeah, this is how you overcome the evil, with the good. Therefore, let not sin reign in your mortal body, so that you obey its evil desires. So, don't let it live in there. This is Romans 12. So, do not let it. So on this particular thing, you're getting rid of it. We're just reading these things kind of out of context because it's just one thing. I have to know more about what was going on before or after, but you can look at that as, 6 and a 3. It could either be, you could either be taking on this evil or you could be getting rid of this evil. So that's why I'll leave it at that. Here's one of the cool ones. This is the one that I starred. It says, whosoever is pregnant with evil conceives trouble and gives birth to disillusionment. All right. So this is to take this idea away from the physical content of having a baby that's going to be evil. But what it's talking about, this evil side is this evil, the opposite side of a very positive chakra system and positive number system. This is the negative side of all these numbers. And what you find that whoever is pregnant with evil, this is that idea that, that when we are on the other side, when we are in this unclean spirit side, everything is going to deceive you. That's what it's saying. You're going to be just full of disillusionment. And, it's just interesting because as these things come out, they say, it's your mother and father are deceiving you, stuff like that. This is what they're talking about. Let's see here. Here's something talking about, how you can keep this evil side up. Like me, I wanted to go and paint my dead friend into the painting and keep it going. That's coming from heart, It's just going to keep the shit going on. So it shows you, you still got this stuff in you. But, it wasn't me to share with some friends and even air this out in my mind in a way that, I just have to get over it, and not allow it to manifest at all, But, the evil that resides. It says because if those people that have that kind of, it's all by itself. For they cannot rest until they do evil. They are robbed of sleep until they make somebody stumble. This is in Proverbs 4:16. So, well, you know, we can only check. Let me see if I got any. Only one speaks of their hearts. Everyone who does evil hates the light and will not come into the light for fear that their deeds will be exposed. That's 3:20. So yeah, um, your fears. There, a lot of people fear that they're on that they're not good enough for this. And won't come into the light. That's what some people just don't want to believe what I say because it's simple. I say, I'll just go over there and sit down and be quiet. And then those little demons come to them on the sixth ladder and they freak out. But this is that idea that, you want those things are being exposed and it scares them and they go back away. They don't want to see it. They want to keep all those things hidden inside of them and that makes them sick. This makes them filthy. And this is that idea of, you want to clean out the inside. You don't want to keep it dirty. And don't be afraid to go up in there. This Lord is in there. It's not like you have anything hidden from him in this way. So, you want all these guys, they're always dying in the way. They fall in the way. They were in the way when they fell. You come to them as you are, spots and all. Don't be afraid. And it's that person that's going to knock on that door consistently that's going to be allowed in. There's no outside world. There's no place. There's no pigeonhole. All of it is right there with you. And this God knows you more than all. He does not have to keep a little letter or write anything down. He is you. He knows what you want. He knows what you need. That's the difference between Lord and Santa Claus, right? On this day, the the evil side of this business of ours, the outside world, brings us what we would desire, which is that our heart talking, the things that we want, whereas God, the positive side of all of this stuff, the less material side, just brings you what you need, and takes away things that you don't need. So, he's a thief in this as well. You don't get that from a Santa, all right? But, just a quick little synopsis on Santa Claus, St. Claus, and we also have a colostrum. And this colostrum brings, manna. It's a type of, or a milk. It's the mother's milk. It's where the jism and stuff like that. It's basically, this is the beautiful things that come up there from heaven, come down this chimney and gives us the little goodies, which are things that we need, things that we need. That's where he comes from, all right? And of course, on the outside world, he's some kind of a mushroom or something, red and white. People eat it and get high, and he has these little elves that go around. If you've been bad, they beat the shit out of the kids, and if you've been good, they give them goodies, Very spooky little world, this outside world. Let's see if I can find that inside here somewhere. I think it does. It says stuff like, man, they can believe anything, that mind, that mind of theirs. I'm sure it is. This is a Here's one that says, do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult. On the contrary, repay evil with the blessing, because this is you this because to this you are called, so that you may inherit a blessing. This is First Peter's. This is 3:9. So they're really talking about how to change yourself. They're not talking about how to treat other people. But, you can treat other people that way too. I'm trying to find that one. See, he said, flee the desires to pursue the righteousness of faith, love, and peace. Here's one. Our parents were unfaithful. They did evil in the eyes of the Lord and our God. and forsook them. They turned their backs on him. That is so cool. These are your parents. This is what I was talking about. They shunned the Lord. They, you know, this is that idea that they are the, having the father sin, it's just that this female side of us gets neglected so much. This Cain killing Abel, the left overruling the right, the intelligence, our intellect overcoming the spiritual side. Look, the intellect wants to say this is real. What I'm reading is real and physical and stuff like that. I don't understand that pseudoscience. I can't see it. It's all fake to me. It's all new age. It's all new age. And so, of course, the spiritual side is hidden from these people. Oh, I want to find the one about being weird. All right, here's a good one. For fools speak folly. Oh my God, we just learned what folly means. Because of this, they think that they're being maybe going to heaven or something like that. For fools speak folly. Their hearts are bent on evil. They practice ungodliness and spreading errors concerning the Lord. The hungry they leave empty, and from the thirsty they withhold water. I believe they're talking about religion. But at the same time, this idea of concerning the Lord, is making bad out to be good and good out to be bad. They right now, God carries the banner of being the most, the entity in the Bible that's killed the most people, just and murdered or whatever. It's God. God has got the heavy on it. What do I teach? What does the Bible really seriously say about the beautiful side of this Elohim? It cannot hurt a hair on your head, you know, and kicking the snake around, making the snake out to be a bitch and a whore and all that stuff. Ho, 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 ho. Mm-mm. That's the beautiful side of this Lord that they're kicking around, calling evil. So they got everything backwards. And it's the truth. It's God's awful truth, you know. And this idea of, they tell you if you're going to stick out there with religion, you're going to be thirsty forever. You're not going to get anything from that Jacob's well. You're going to have to get it from Jesus' well. You have to go from inside of you, deep, deep, deep inside. All you religious people, like Jesus says, you got to go kill yourself. You got to start all over again. He doesn't tell anybody else to have to do that. He only tells Nicodemus. He tells that to religious people, not to anybody else. Did he have to? Did someone else? Did the guy that stood up and took his robe off and ran to Jesus? Did he ask to be born again? No, he didn't ask to be born again. He was healed on the spot. Let's see here. Here's something from Job. Now, Job is an old. It's actually one of our Oriental books. All right, and I'm going to show you how it means because it's kind of just the way it sounds. As I have observed, those who plow evil and those who sow trouble reap it. This is Job number 4:8. So I mean, 4 is worlds and 8 is control. So if that's what you want, motherfuckers, that's what you get. And it sounds pretty profound. But the idea is that it's our left mind. Yeah, the left side of us is the field. This is what you're supposed to plow, and plowing has to do with meditation, tilling the field. And if you're just tilling the field, you're not going and bringing it over to the other side, then all you're doing is making garbage. You're on the evil side. I just cannot believe I don't have that until mm, the blameless. The disillusionment is very important because I told you that if you're on this other side, every part of your body is going to. It told us in, I think it was in the Luke chapters where it was talking about um, being deceived by your mother and father and your brothers and sisters. You know that your skin's going to give you up, and your heart and your brain, everything's all going against you, and it'll just throw you even deeper and deeper into the limits. Oh, here we go. From their callous hearts, from their calloused hearts comes iniquity. All right, that means untruths. Their evil imaginations have no limits. That's Psalm 73, 7. So that's 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's their God, they're one. And the 7 is the opposite side. This is that idea, like, listen, little Tweety bird, I told you that these things aren't real, and you insist that Jesus lives. And that means that you also believe he also killed, is murdered, and you believe that that's the kind of negative persuasion that your soul needs in order to be to be saved. You think that a negative, very, very low conscious acts being served up on an innocent person or being is going to grant you salvation into heaven. That's making something bad into something good, something evil into something good. I'm just hoping that, to learn. This is why you're here. We learn from both sides of this God. And that's why we have to respect both sides. They're both side teachers. I may make fun of God. I make fun of the devil. Well, I do and I will. But I've learned a lot from him. So in some ways, I get it, some respect. But this idea of talking animals and all this kind of crap, is that imagination from your disillusionment, because that shit just don't happen. And women don't have babies without some sperm going in them first. Whether it be with a turkey baster, someone spitting it into them, God knows how many different ways it's happened. But, just sitting on the toilet seat, I think that's more of a sexually transmitted disease that you can catch. But you don't get this unless you do the works. And those works are running the plumbing within inside of yourself. The electrical conduit to God is inside of you. And then when you do this, that you're the evil spirit. You're the minion. You're the one. There's thousands and millions of you until you go up there and get tossed in the water. All right. So, of all of the people that I have on here, you're the one that still believes in that little Jesus coming to some woman out of nowhere. It is the way the electrical system of our mind works. Once we shut down all distractions of the outside world, this beautiful electrical pulse that we call the child can race past the devil, that red serpent on its way up to heaven, to sit in the throne and bring mother and father together as the first commandments of Moses from God himself has told everyone is the law of the land. All right? So learn to follow Jesus the correct way. Understand that what I'm teaching you is not how to read the Bible literally. I'm trying to teach you how to read the Bible spiritually. All right? All right, now, I love you guys. I really, really do. And there's just not enough room for me in this camera. I'll chat with you soon. Bye.